For decades, Australian governments have recognised the need for a dedicated freight railway connecting the ports of Melbourne and Brisbane. Today, the vision of Inland Rail is closer than ever, bringing with it the opportunity to revolutionise freight transport in Australia, freeing up our highways and providing a fast, efficient connection to our major export gateways. Inland Rail can be truly transformational for Australia and the national economy for the next 100 years, but only if we make the right decisions today. The federal government is currently considering a taxpayer-funded option to cobble together existing tracks, many of them close to 100 years old, to create a patchwork version of Inland Rail. This proposal will require extensive renovation of existing rail corridors if modern, double-stacked freight trains are to use it. Experience around the world shows that this approach is expensive, high risk, slow, and second-rate. The current proposal also includes no connection to the Port of Brisbane, but will instead dump all the freight traffic from Inland Rail into the already congested South East Queensland passenger network. What's worse, taxpayers will be left with a bill of more than $12 billion for a substandard patchwork connection that will not transform Australia's critical East Coast freight transport corridor. The solution proposed by National Trunk Rail is for a new, dedicated freight line which is shorter, flatter, straighter than the Australian Rail Track Corporation proposal. This means that every journey along NTR's modern rail line for the next 100 years will save time and money, boosting productivity and lowering costs for freight users. The NTR solution includes an underground connection to the Port of Brisbane and double crossing of the Toowoomba Range, as well as connection to key transport hubs such as the Wellcamp Airport in Toowoomba, and opening up opportunities for some of Australia's most productive agricultural regions, such as the Murrumbidgee Irrigation Area and Queensland's Darling Downs. All this means that our exporters have faster, more reliable and cheaper pathways to overseas markets, boosting Australia's international competitiveness and prosperity. NTR can deliver Inland Rail from end to end within 6 years of getting approval to proceed. And most importantly, NTR offers the majority of funding from the private sector, dramatically reducing the burden on taxpayers. NTR has already invested more than $20 million into feasibility and corridor studies, and has financial backers waiting for the federal government to signal it's genuine about a partnership with the private sector for the delivery of a superior inland rail solution. Australia needs a new Snowy Mountains scheme for the 21st century, transformative for the nation and driving productivity and genuine economic progress. Australia doesn't deserve a second-rate alternative, old technology, cobbled together at enormous cost to taxpayers and producing an inferior result. Inland Rail's time has come. NTR stands ready to start work this year. But we need our politicians to make the right decision. For our farmers, for our miners, for our manufacturers, for regional Australia, for our nation.